The game of the week was in Safford as the Bulldogs and the Wickenburg Wranglers battled each other in an offensive shootout. After methodically moving the ball down the field on its first possession with a combination of runs and passes, Wickenburg faced a 4th and 10 from the 35 when quarterback Mike Mindick scrambled around the right side for 16 yards to keep the drive alive. On 3rd and goal from the 9, Mindick rolls left and he's got a wide open Bryson Alder in the end zone, but the ball just slips out of the breadbasket. Undaunted, Mindick took matters into his own hands and went straight up the gut for the game's first score. It didn't take Safford long to answer, however, and on the Bulldogs' second play from scrimmage, C.J. Scrivener gets free around the right side and then not gonna catch him as he races 56 yards for the score. But the snap went over the holder's head on the extra point attempt and Safford still trailed 7-6. After forcing a punt, Safford came back on 3rd and short and Mason Durros hit Robert White in stride for a big 19-yard pickup. After a couple of nice runs by Scrivener and Samuel Tobias to get the Bulldogs down into the red zone, Durros rolled out to his right and hit a wide-open Nathan Williams for the 12-yard touchdown to put Safford up for the first time of the night, 13-7. Wickenburg came right back as Mindick hit Alder, who appears to be going out of bounds, but whoop! He rolled out of the tackle and went another 10 yards to midfield. A few plays later, the Wranglers' big fullback Joe Motor stumbles and bumbles his way 26 yards to pay dirt. And the back and forth continues as Wickenburg goes back on top, 14-13. Safford decided to utilize its fullback as well, and Robert White burst through the middle for a nice 15-yard pickup into Wrangler territory. The Bulldogs fed White on the very next play, and deja vu time, he went another 12 yards down to the 33. Safford finished off the drive and went back up 20-14 when Jarek Arbizo outjumped Michael Flynn and came down with a Durros offering for a 20-yard TD. I have to say I was very impressed with Wickenburg's quarterback. Mindick did it through the air, and when that wasn't there, he crushed it on the ground as well, as he took this scramble 59 yards to the house to put the Wranglers back up on top, 21-20. Safford had an answer on offense, however, as Durros launched a deep pass that hit Scrivener in stride, and the 6'1 running back did the rest as he went 76 yards for the game's biggest play of the night. Mindick came right back and hit Keegan Lindsay in between 3 defenders for a nice 22-yard pickup. With time running out in the first half, Mindick scrambled to his right and found Troy Adamo in the end zone for a 4-yard TD, putting Wickenburg up 27-26 heading into the break. We'll have the second half highlights right after this brief message from our sponsor. Johnson Motors is proud to sponsor our local high school athletes. If you're in the game for a new ride, trust Johnson Motors for a great deal on a quality new or used vehicle. Shop our virtual showroom and then stop on by for a test drive. That's Johnson Motors in Safford. The scoring onslaught continued in the third quarter as Durros threaded the seam to Williams, who fought through the tackles of 2 Wranglers and raced down the field all the way to a 50-yard score. This time the Bulldogs went for 2, and Arbizo scooped up the Durros offering for the score, putting Safford up 34-27. The Wranglers looked to answer, and Mindick delivered by finding Adamo to keep the drive going on a 3rd and 10. The Safford defense looked like it might have caught a break when White knocked the ball out of Mindick's hands, but the fumble went out of bounds and the Wranglers retained possession. Mindick came right back and put a floater just over the outstretched arms of Jared Garcia and into the hands of Adamo for a 22-yard TD on 3rd and 8. The extra point was good and the game was all knotted up at 34 points apiece. The Bulldogs' offensive juggernaut was on the edge of the red zone looking to score again when Samuel Tobias just lost the handle and Adamo gathered it in for the Wranglers at their own 5-yard line. On 3rd and long, it looked like Mindick would do it again for the Wranglers, but the pass just went through the arms of Alder, forcing Wickenburg to punt for just the 2nd time on the night. That was good for Safford, as Arbizo made the first tackler miss, and then it was off to the races as Arbizo made a cutback, whoop, and then another, whoop, and zipped into the end zone on a 60-yard punt return and put Safford back on top, 41-34. The Bulldogs' defense then forced a punt, but for the first time the offense couldn't move the chains and Safford had to punt the ball away with 5 minutes and 9 seconds left in the game. Justin Torrio's punt shanked off his foot and Wickenburg was back in business in Safford territory. Mindick then worked his magic again and completed a pass to Lindsay, who took it to the Bulldogs' 5-yard line. On 3rd and goal from the 4, it looked like the Bulldogs had Mindick bottled up, but he somehow escapes and makes a shovel pass to Alder, who went in standing up to tie the game at 41 with about 2 minutes left in regulation. On 3rd and 9 from their own 20 with only a minute left to play, Duros hit a leaping sophomore Bryant Montoya, who galloped to near midfield on the 28-yard catch and run. Duros then hit Arbizo on the sideline, and the wily receiver stops the clock by going out of bounds with just 50 seconds left to play. With 30 seconds left, Duros went for the home run ball, and he has Scrivener behind the defense, but the ball just hung up in the air, and Alder just missed getting an INT. Duros dropped back again, but he soon found himself in trouble and threw up a desperation toss off his back foot. But unfortunately, only Wranglers were in the vicinity, and Tyler Ness came up with the interception that sent the game into overtime. On the first play of overtime, Mindick expertly holds the ball and allowed his fullback to clear the Bulldogs' defense before tossing a 10-yard TD to put the Wranglers up 48-41. Then it was Duros' turn, and he bides his time and finds Williams for the score! Oh, but the ball just slips out of the tight end's hands. Undaunted, Duros came right back and hit Arbizo in the end zone. It's a touchdown! But the linesman was overruled by the referee, who saw the ball just slip through Arbizo's hands onto the turf. On 4th and 6, it was the Bulldogs' last chance, and with Wranglers all around him, Duros gets the ball off to his running back White, who won't be denied, and scored the TD. After thinking it over during a timeout, the Bulldogs line up to win the game on a 2-point play. However, Duros missed a wide-open Williams over the middle and instead tossed a lob out of the back of the end zone intended for a double-team Scrivener, and the Wranglers escaped with a 48-47 victory.
What we needed was some stops tonight. We didn't get them, so it was just kind of a shootout. But I thought they were a very good football team, so I think our kids just beat a good team. I was real pleased how our kids play. I thought they showed some heart tonight.
The decision to go for 2, I like it. I thought it was the right call. Just didn't quite get the execution going. Can you tell me a little bit, was there any doubt in your mind to go for 2 at the end?
No, we want to win. It was a long game, and we're in a position to win, and we wanted to win. Came up a little short.
Mason Duros was throwing the ball really well, and you guys were clicking on all field. Just couldn't quite stop him on defense. Is that a concern for you guys?
Yeah, their quarterback was very good. Kind of the opposite of performance against Snowflake. Snowflake, our defense played very well, and our offense struggled this week. Our offense played well, our defense struggled a little bit.
Does a close game like this prepare you for next week versus Thatcher? Usually it's generally a real
we have
close.
the toughest schedule in 3A football. So, every week's going to be a grind. So yeah, it helps. We just every game is hard. Yeah, Wickenburg's a good team. We're a good team. Just came up a little short.
Reporting from Safford for the Gila Herald, I'm John Johnson.